Alright, so in today's video we will be looking at our upcoming severe weather threat across the central portion of the country this weekend and probably into early next week too. There will be a threat for all hazards, including tornadoes, winds, hail, and we will see these across the upper Midwest Saturday, and then we'll see these mainly across South Sunday and Monday. But before we do get started here, can you consider subscribing to the channel and stay updated with our content? Because that would be appreciated if you could do so, because we will keep you updated, and we don't do forecasts that cause a lot of panic. We go by what's truly in the models, and we don't do those ridiculous forecasts that maybe you'll see every now and then. So yeah, let's get started. Look, you can see there's a slight risk centered over Iowa, but could also be spilling into portions of neighboring states such as far northwestern Illinois, southeastern Minnesota, far southwest Wisconsin, as well as far eastern Nebraska and northern Missouri. And the marginal risk also expands further into those states. So further into the southern half of Wisconsin, portions of northern and western Illinois, the northern half of Missouri, northeastern Kansas, eastern Nebraska, the southeast corner of South Dakota, and also southern Minnesota. And then we'll go into these hazards with you to see what exactly you could see out of these outbreaks, or what we can call some slight risk outlooks, because there is potential for all hazards. This is a tornado outlook. You can see there's a 5% chance across mostly Iowa, but could also be extending into portions of neighboring adjacent Minnesota, Wisconsin, Nebraska, and see a 2% elsewhere across most of the slight risk, but could also be in the marginal risk too. So for the wind outlook, we see there's a 15% chance for across slight risk and a 5% chance across the marginal risk. But the hail risk for the 5% does bulge out a little further, and so does the slight risk. The other difference here is the eastern portion is trimmed for the marginal risk, which otherwise accounts for tornadoes and damaging winds. So that's less of a threat with eastern extent as the storms weaken overnight and Saturday night. So there's a 15% chance across Iowa, 5% chance across neighboring states. Again, the 15% could also be extending across into adjacent portions of neighboring states. So this is mainly an Iowa threat, but we could see some severe weather across, of course, from neighboring states as well, as I've repeatedly mentioned. So here is day 3's outlook, which also is Sunday's outlook. So we see a slight risk, including the cities of Memphis, Little Rock, Fort Smith, Fayetteville, and North Little Rock, but also including the states of southeastern Oklahoma and northeast Texas, much of Arkansas, the far west Tennessee, as well as southeastern Missouri, and the extreme western portion of Kentucky, with a marginal risk across many of these areas, but it can also be extending into northwestern Louisiana and Mississippi, as well as southern Illinois. So here is Monday's severe weather outlook. There is a 15% chance highlighted for portions of the southeast, including the cities of Memphis, Nashville, Birmingham, Jackson, and Huntsville. We do have a 15% area highlighted also for Tennessee, northern Mississippi and Alabama, northwestern Georgia, as well as northeast Louisiana and eastern Arkansas. So this is an active severe weather period to watch. We have Saturdays to watch, Sunday, and even Monday. And I'm not sure if it's going to go further than that because I haven't really paid attention to it, but I'll leave you updates to keep you updated, and we'll even do a briefing tomorrow. This is mainly a severe weather video, but our tomorrow's briefing will probably go over every single aspect of the storm, including the snow. But for now, we'll just pertain to the severe weather. And yeah, so let's head into the models, see what exactly is going on with the severe weather threat and how it could be further increased. See some instability with these outlooks, obviously. There won't really be anything Friday because of the unfavorable conditions otherwise, but heading into Saturday, we do see a narrow plume of Cape heading into the Central Plains and into the Midwest, which is probably going to fade out with time. So again, we'll go over the dates with this. So this is tomorrow, Saturday night, Sunday, Sunday night, Monday, Monday night, and then doesn't really go out from there. But the severe threat diminishes, especially with nightfall. We do see the severe threat starting to de-evolve Tuesday morning, I think. And we'll see that there is still some severe threat. There could be some severe threat even after that, but that's uncertainty, so we don't know that for sure. But again, we do see some severe weather occurring all days Saturday through Monday. So the weekend is definitely a very active severe weather period to monitor. We'll probably have some streaming to do as well. So with all that being said, let's look at how this would be enhanced for the severe weather with the other setups in mind. So on Saturday, they're very favorable. So for the do see severe weather, the lapse rates will also be very favorable. Maybe not as much on Monday for the southeast, but it's still there and maybe not sufficient enough to definitely get some severe storms, and also a lot of lightning with the activity that occurs for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And it could linger into Tuesday too, but we're going to focus on the 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, again. So now let's see the other setups. We're going to go over the bulk shear next, and then get into the moisture return we're seeing across central portion of the country. So obviously there's going to be tons of shear, which will further enhance the severe threat. So Sunday's threat will line over here, so very favorable, and Monday's is a little more uncertain because it's more on the southern edge of the dynamics, but we can still see some really decent severe weather here because some of the severe threat areas, most of the severe threat, in fact, is also in the active jet, which is of course strongest north of the area because we're also in the warm sector at this point in southeast still. So again, we got 3 days to watch for severe weather, which we know is certain based on the agreeing model guidance. So now let's look at the moisture return with all of this, of course. So Saturday, I do some really interesting Gulf influx. Dew point values in the 50s go really far to the north, including all of Iowa and even into southern Wisconsin and central lower peninsula of Michigan. Dew point values in the 60s also go a little farther north. And it could even go further north of the Ohio River. So areas like southern Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, maybe even Ohio for a little bit. We could see some really good Gulf moisture with dew points in the 60s. We do see those widespread values elsewhere across southeast. They'll mostly stay high of the 70s, except maybe southern Louisiana near the coast. But yeah, other than that, there's a ton of moisture to work with, so that's plenty of fuel for the weekend severe threat. But then again, we don't want to completely leave out the winter weather aspect of the forecast, so why not just look at the snowfall map? So for the wintry weather, not just with this one, but there could be another one too, later in next week, of course, but like early next week, that would probably be occurring. I'd say like just a couple of days after we see the severe weather across the Midwest. Portions of that region could also be seeing a little snow after that. So for those that could see severe weather, you could also see some snow if you're in Iowa, which is where we see the target of severe weather for Saturday, which we could see a few inches across much of the state, as well as northern Illinois into central Michigan and southern half Wisconsin, possibly northern New England as well. But then with this storm, we also see a band of, which could be seeing over half foot of snow that goes from northern Colorado into Nebraska Panhandle, South Dakota, Minnesota, northwest Wisconsin. And then it's way above the border after that. So nothing too much to work with for the snow, but there could still be some heavy snow in some of these regions, and it can't completely lose that idea. So models, especially the NAM we're looking at, can tend to be pretty unrealistic with ice amounts, and there does appear to be some freezing rain threat across the upper Midwest, and possibly in New England as well. Icing threat would probably extend from eastern Nebraska, South Dakota into Minnesota, Wisconsin, UP of Michigan, possibly northern New England. And I'm not too certain if there would be a freezing threat with the second storm as well across northern Illinois to Michigan, northeast New England, which is where this model seems to have the icing threat. We don't know too much on that yet, and we'll go more into it as the details begin to emerge. So if you did enjoy us for today's forecast, please again to consider subscribing and